This week we're back with another list, where we'll be looking at some trading companies that I would love to be added to Sea of Thieves. As A Pirate's Life brought some much needed tall tales, it's back to looking at what could build on the day-to-day gameplay, so let's go.
Don't linger in the waters where the...
As the sirens have awoken, revealing the sunken kingdom to us, I think it's time we have a faction for our fishy friends. This idea is based on the excellent concept by Zuki Art, who I've worked with for my channel branding. Go check her out. This faction will be focused on exploring the depths of the Sea of Thieves. We did get the fantastic addition of the Siren Citadel and Coral Fortress, but I would like to see the existing underwater ruins dotted around the Sea of Thieves expanded on, for hotspots to encounter sirens and to collect mermaid or siren gems. The MERFOK delegation would have its own progression and store, where you can earn underwater themed cosmetics, which a curse is also available that will turn you blue and scaly for reaching level 50. So what about the voyages? As the MERFOK delegation would be run by the friendly Mer, they would offer bounties for siren leaders around the seas, which are encountered in ruined locations around the Sea of Thieves. These encounters would be like skeleton bounties, but the sirens would also be protected by multiple mermaid statues. Think of these as mini hazards in the location to spice up the fight and improve the rewards. These bounties would reward siren gems, mermaid gems and tridents, for the former giving increased rep and gold when sold to the delegation. The second voyage type would be the same, but you're tasked with taking on ocean crawlers instead. The most interesting void would be similar to a Wayfinder voyage, where you receive a trident that glows brighter when pointed in the right direction, but glowing extremely bright when you find the location. Upon finding the area and diving down, there'll be a large number of barnacle chests up for grabs that have to be taken up to the surface. The most prized treasure though is a single-use gem that will allow the holder to swim fast in water and breathe underwater for 90 seconds. This is activated and single-use, like eating a piece of fruit. The idea is that this one-use tool can be used for PvP plays such as boarding and tucking. I absolutely love the idea of a new mermaid faction, as it would be a nice way to expand the encounters with sirens and ocean crawlers, making them more rewarding. The MERFOK aesthetic would be really awesome too. I have mentioned this or something similar in my Pirate Legend update, but this is now a separate faction. The Legends of the Flame have formed in the wake of Flameheart's return, where only true followers of him can join. The Reaper's Hideout trapdoor would open up to reveal a hideout, like Athena's Fortune, with a shanty that is earned at level 75 for the Reaper's Bones. Think of this as Athena's Fortune and Reaper's Bones on steroids. The hideout would offer rewards and unique cosmetics, with 20 levels to climb and an emissary function that acts similarly to the Reaper's Bones, where you could be visible on the map at all times. The voyage here gives you a chest of searing flame, which can't be turned in unless it has been charged up. How do you charge it up? You have to sync other emissaries and feed it their loot. This will also show up on the map at all times to encourage PvP. If another player steals it from you, it will sell for 50k to any trading company plus your emissary bonus. If you manage to charge up your chest with emissary flags and loot, then you can sell it for 50k plus the emissary bonus. The chest has to be fed flags or stolen treasure, like a storage chest, but your own flags cannot charge up the chest. To encourage the voyage starter to seek PvP and the other players on the map to engage them for a large reward, then it prevents the aggressor from solely benefiting from this voyage. Along with this, the chest holder is not rewarded for doing PvE or running in order to charge the chest, forcing them to PvP for, well, a PvP faction. Think of this as becoming a mobile event to encourage dynamic plays. With the faction you can also level up with any stolen items, so anything not stolen will still reward gold at a normal rate but no rep is gained. This would be a true PvP faction, working out the kinks of the PvE Reaper grinders. Hitting level 20 will allow you to unlock the Ashen Lord curse, where your pirate becomes a charred skeleton with a glowing red heart. It could easily be included in the Reaper's Bones, but I think the legendary captain himself deserves his own faction. And when all is said and done, he can sit there like Ramsay does for Athena's Fortune. The Twisted Knife are a faction featured in the Tales from the Sea of Thieves book, where they essentially act as mercenaries who hunt down pirates. This idea is going to get complex, so please bear with me. I've seen many people request a foil to the Reaper's Bones. This is where the Twisted Knife comes in, where a representative is placed in all taverns and offers 2 voyages. This voyage isn't one you vote down and go to a specific location, but more of a passive sign you can apply. Think of it as an alliance flag, but loot isn't split. The first is an escort mission, where another player can hire you to protect them. You activate the voyage to say you wish to protect other players, and a gold hoarder, Order of Souls or Merchant Alliance emissary can recruit you to ensure they complete their voyage. To deter betrayals, Twisted Knife members can't sell other players' treasure. They get a flat payout when they are recruited, but lose money if the other player sinks. If the player finishes their voyage, the Twisted Knife get a rep and gold bonus. There is a catch though. Twisted Knife players are always visible on the map to Reaper emissaries, possibly giving away the location, the route, and encouraging them to be attacked. Reapers will be looking for these convoys, and only one Twisted Knife ship can be hired at once. The dynamic here is based on the less skilled players being protected, without alliances becoming crutches. The Twisted Knife gets the benefit from this, and the Reapers get larger targets with the possibility of a tougher fight. You could say this is like alliances, but alliances end up being a crutch, they're open to betrayal, and they don't add that dynamic gameplay of Sea of Thieves. The Twisted Knife doesn't have to be passive and wait for combat, they are mercenaries after all. You can pay a large sum of gold to obtain a bounty, which will show the ship on the server which has sunk the most ships or killed the most players. This is a huge gamble, as the ship could be carrying absolutely nothing at all, but could equally be stacking lots of gold. The Twisted Knife is revealed to the marked crew and are notified they are marked by an outline on their ship. They can then choose to run or engage the Twisted Knife. The Twisted Knife gets large emissary rep for sinking the ship and turning in their treasure, or the marked ship will gain a large amount of gold for selling the attacker's flag. Again, this is to add a foil to the aggressive ships on the seas, where they can be punished by other players for preying too much on weak players. Alternatively, the stackers have something to gain from being attacked, rather than ships repeatedly attacking them with no benefit. Twisted Knife cosmetics have a lot of basic and rugged cosmetics in the style similar to the Black Dog, Hunter and Ferryman cosmetics. Lots of muted colours here and battered themes. Possibly a bit complex and overthought, but I think it would make the Sea of Thieves a war zone. Now, I know the build rats have been in the game for 3 years at this point, but a reboot of the faction aims to make them more interesting. The progression will be based around the events we already have. Instead of having just the rewards for recurring events, each time you complete a challenge, you get build rat rep. Coupled with this, the build rat voyages return, so you now have access to old voyages like the Chest of Rage voyage and the Reaper's runs. This would be for those players who missed out the first time round and would add more voyages with more challenge. And of course, you can't have build rats without some build rat adventures. These would work just like before with new activities, mechanics, and tools added to the game in between seasonal drops. Think Skeleton Thrones, Gunpowder Skellies, Festival of the Damned, and so on. Completing these commendations will increase rep, give you gold and doubloons. Finally, anything sold to Lorena will also boost rep, so you can still benefit from tomes, chests, and skulls sold to her. Obviously the build rats would need some new cosmetics, so let's add some new piratey themed cosmetics that can be earned for progressing. These would be similar to the basic clothing options added in Fort of the Damned. I see this one requested a lot, so please add these rare. Oh, and more build rat adventures. Cheers. The final idea is based on the canvas and paintings previously planned by Rare when the game was in its early testing iterations. Simply, you could visit Umbra to obtain a canvas, which acts like a photo mode. You can then paint your view onto a canvas, and then you have to take it back to Umbra for her to save it. She also tasks you with painting or capturing certain things, like creatures, NPCs and locations. Think of this as like Legends of the Sea, but you get to keep your artwork to display on your ship. Coupled with the introduction of this faction, you can display your screenshots on your ship. With the more pictures you bring back to her, the more you can display at one time. This would allow our ships to be a bit more unique and allow us to immortalise those moments we have and display them to others. Hacked a shrouded ghost in? Show your friends. Betrayed your alliance again? Make sure you capture the moment. Rare doesn't release the captaincy update? Display your tears to everyone and let them know. Wrapping up, these are some loose ideas and may indeed be complicated, but a skilled team like Rare could get these working properly. Ideally, I want new ways to play and replayability, so maybe a new faction wouldn't go amiss in the near future. And it goes without saying, Captaincy and Pirate Legend update first. Cheers, Rare. There we go. Thanks for watching. The weekly Obsidian 6-pack giveaway is in the pinned comments, winners on the screen now, and make sure you check out my latest appearance on Captain Blubber's podcast, where we discuss Lords of the Sea from a pirate's life and Season 3 as a whole. And lastly, if you like the content and want more, make sure you subscribe. There's lots more Sea of Thieves content to come, including a complete lore timeline, so look out for that. Thanks again for watching, and as always, I'll see you in the next video.
It seems they care for no reward for tender ministration when we have toppled overboard in our inebriation.